On today's episode, we go through the history of animation on YouTube and the success of its second wave alongside its future on the platform. Next, watch as Sn0wy gets an invitation to join the community with an interesting catch. So grab your tablets and a lack of a color palette and join us on today's adventure.
These are the stories of three roommates, Sn0wy, Twig and Ruby. They share a house with their weird landlord Wallace. Watch as these three losers try to make a living off their adventures through this mysterious door. Ooh, spooky.
Over the years, YouTube and animators haven't had the most ideal relationship. It's not been pretty. In the earlier days of the platform, it was a leading force for Newgrounds users and animators alike to take their work and actually have the ability to sustain off of it. Newgrounds was a precursor to YouTube in many ways. It brought us many big creators and animators like Eagle Raptor from Game Grumps, we got Oni and G, Psychic Pebbles, Rice Pirate, the list goes on, but it just wasn't reliable for making a living off of. This is when YouTube came on the scene and was like, hey guys, you like money? And then many of the other animators were like, actually we do, because we kind of need to live. So they used Newgrounds as a catapult to launch them into YouTube fame. And that all went downhill pretty quickly.
Sn0wy, door.
Ruby, I'm in the middle of something. Why can't Twig just get
Sn0wy.
it? Fine.
Letter for Sn0wy.
Yeah, that's...
Sir.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Thanks.
No problem. It's what I'm supposed to do.
Ooh, what does it say?
Not sure, but I'll look in a bit, because I got this video to do. YouTube in its beginning years was the perfect place for animation. However, this all changed for the worse around early 2012, where high quality animation on YouTube just seemed to exist. So what happened? Well, it can all be narrowed down to one thing. Algorithm. You see, before 2012, all the ad revenue made was based around the amount of views you'd gain per video, making it easier for animation or just in general high quality content that takes, a longer time to make, actually sustainable and even profitable at times. But this algorithm also opened the doors for constant clickbait and reply girls and just all this messy stuff. During this era, the only channels that were able to survive, funnily enough, weren't from Newgrounds. YouTube became unreliable for high quality content or animation, unless there was a big studio backing it. I think this is best explained by Rubber Ninja, both a Newgrounder and a member of Game Grumps.
As the structure of YouTube changes, it indirectly affects the type of content which is being produced on the platform. Small changes in the website's algorithm have severe unforeseen consequences for the kind of content the creators create. The cold calculating backend to YouTube now mainly looks for two things: minutes watched and frequency of uploads. A piece of high quality animation could take one person from about 2 to 5 months to produce. Frequent uploads for an independent animation channel are incredibly unreasonable. The golden number that I hear time and time again is around like 10 minutes or more. For an animation channel to achieve this, they need to be able to pay an entire staff of animators.
The only animators who were able to thrive on YouTube were Sn0wy and Domix. How though? Well, the thing is, the two weren't really animators. Not in the sense of Newgrounds at least, because it's a bit of a gray area. The two were storytellers, real life storytellers. They told stories about situations they got into in their day-to-day lives, and in a sense, they didn't have to really animate these complex fighting scenes or physically comedic moments. Instead, they just had to animate a scene where, they're talking to someone, or maybe they're just walking to their car. Just day-to-day stuff that doesn't require a huge amount of skill. Unless your name is Jom. This allowed corners to be cut in their animations to save time, and in general we get something more like animatics. I describe an animatic like a sequence of drawings made to act as a guideline for what a scene or a story is supposed to look like. They could also be considered as storyboards, but it varies with certain people doing cleaner artwork, more colors, or backgrounds, and just in general is a really gray area that's kind of hard to pinpoint what is and what isn't. So, look, okay, my point is, it allowed creators to get a lot more done in a shorter amount of time, while still being able to portray what they want in a somewhat animated format. For all I'm talking about this era though, there must have been a lot of people getting involved, right? Actually, surprisingly not. Around this time, Minecraft was booming and Let's Plays were all the rage. PewDiePie was still screaming at Amnesia, so animation channels like Domix and Sn0wy were just another genre on the platform. But in these past couple of years, we've had a renaissance in this style of content, with the rise of creators like The Odd Ones Out and Jane Animations, who seem to be carrying the animation torch that Domix and Sn0wy have had for so long. This has also sparked interest in many others to try animation or even get back into it. Okay, I'm sorry. I can't take it anymore. I gotta see what's inside this letter. I'm genuinely curious.
Wait, is that blood?
Is this a cult?
Whoa, Twig, calm down. It's probably just a paper cut. Dear Mr. Snowy, we've noticed your enthusiasm of the animation community, and we'd like to invite you to one of our special meetings. Be there tonight at 9 p.m. We'd like to see you. We hope to see you there. The Odd Ones Out. What?
Yo, if we can get the Odd Ones Out to make a cameo in our video, that would get us a lot of views.
Ooh, here's a plan. When we all go in, I distract.
Yes, don't bring your friends. They don't fit our criteria.
Ouch.
Oh, guess you're going in all by yourself then.
I guess so. With the rise of the Odd Ones Out and Jaden Animations, something the two had in common were their humble beginnings. The Odd Ones Out made webcomics on Tumblr and started to create videos just to try out animation for fun, while Jaden was creating animations for iHas Cupquake, but started doing her own stuff on the side. The two of them were just animating for fun because they enjoyed it. Then they blew up and bada bing, bada bang. The whole Storytime animation community just blew up. It was like, I'm like a 7-year-old. What I love about this day and age of YouTube animation is just how easy it is to get into. With Newground animators, well sure, anybody could easily get into it. There's definitely a skill ladder that imitated a lot of people, including me. Well, it has its own strengths and flaws and weaknesses and advantages and all this stuff. I find that the more storytime kind of animation that's prevalent right now can open a lot of doors to people who want to get into animation. You don't need much experience in the arts to really make these storytime animations. It makes it accessible for people who just want to be creative or try something new. It's easier than ever for somebody just to get up and start creating. What I find intriguing about the community at the stage it's in right now is to see some of the bigger names out there or people in the community have a ego and their fans constantly feeding into it. Like, sorry you're not very special and your content is probably going to be forgotten in a year's time because of your awful personality and lack of talent. If you want to stay relevant, don't cry about criticism and maybe make better content instead of crying on Twitter about not being treated like an animator, glorified storyboard artist. And with these disappointing things, I will now talk about some of the flaws in this community. When you're a well-established creator, like some of the bigger names in any community, fans like to follow in the footsteps of their idols, which can lead to a lack of creativity and a lot of copying. And fondly enough, the YouTube animation community is no exception to this, and I'd say is probably the most guilty of it in any community, because it's not just the little guys who are copying, it's some of the bigger guys copy the biggest guys. It's just ironic how creative animation is as a platform, but on YouTube it just feels somewhat dull. From copying art styles and topics to a creator's end card to a T, oh my goodness, chill. If you thought that whole Twitter post with the CalArts art style going around was bad a few months back, you haven't seen the Storytime community, man. Oh my goodness. All this criticizing is for a reason though, because I'm just really passionate about this genre and with the amount of potential it has. This community has way more potential than when Minecraft creators or the commentators were at their peak. Look at it like this. A whole format of videos could have a revival thanks to simple storytelling. Animation does have a chance to, somewhat live on YouTube again. I think the current state of the animation or animat community on YouTube has the most creativity and motivation on their side than any other genre, but also has the worst execution of sorts. And I think just limiting it to storytime videos could be damaging. The future of YouTube animation is an interesting one because it can go one of two ways. Either it follows in the footsteps of trends prior, where it dies out due to lack of new ideas and creativity, or it could stay a prevalent genre if done right. There's so much you can do with the genre, but I haven't seen any up-and-coming names doing something to really challenge what's been established. I think this community needs to take a step back and stop imitating one another, or as well, see where they can go with this type of animation. There's only so many things you can do with telling stories like the time you and your mates went to Tesco and got a smashing deal on a steak and kidney pie. Instead, let your mind wander a bit. Don't just limit the genre to real life stories. Create characters, create worlds, create stories for those worlds. Art and animation are spectacular art forms, and right now it's easier than ever to hop into. Although I made it sound a little intimidating, the community is open to helping out one another, and I think all it needs is just something to freshen it up. Somebody to change how we see animation on YouTube. Who knows? Maybe it could be you. Maybe it could be the girl reading this. So in the meantime, if you haven't started already, just get up and start creating. Oh, and would you look at the time? The meeting should be starting soon.
Good luck! I packed your snack just in case you get hungry, and there should be some equipment in there if you need to record any of it.
And bring me back a souvenir.
Wait, is this even the right place? Oh no.
All hail the odd ones out. All hail the odd ones out. All hail the odd ones out. All hail the odd.
Welcome to the Church of Storytime Animators, brother. Put on the robe and come pray with us.
Well, you see, I'm starting to have some second thoughts about this.
One of us. One of us.
One of us. One of us.
One
of
us.
One of us. One of us.
One of us. So, how did it go?
Well, I got some great footage.